as Skyridge gets ready here to kick off, as we get ready to see this Fremont offense. Pick up the fumbled ball. Oh, here we go. He's going to cut back. Takes him down at the 45-yard line. Hey, look, the ball was muffed on that kickoff, but taking it to the 45-yard line is not a bad place to get the spot at all.
You know, it's kind of interesting. I feel like whenever there is a muff punt like that, you know, of course it's going to return and possibly a turnover, but every once in a while you see it where they just pick it up and, you know, the punt coverage team is thinking, okay, we're going to get the ball, and it kind of, I don't know if it gets in their heads or, you know, they just miss their assignment because they're so focused on tackling them and getting a big play. They let up on some of their lanes and, you know, gets right there just to the 44-yard line. Great starting field position.
Looks like we are going to see Slade Parker back in the backfield. That is, looks like Brant Coford. The ball right up the middle. They are going to be stopped right there for no gain on the opening play of the game.
Yeah, my apologies to the viewers. It was Braxton Young who was warming up before the game with the arm. Okay, I was confused right there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. You know, with Slade starting, we know what a good receiver he is, and so it'll be interesting to see how they utilize him. And on that first play right there, of course, they did what I think that they should do, running up the gut, just not very effectively. Let's see if they go back to it on the second down.
Same formation. Slade's going to get out for a gain of about 2 yards at the 46-yard line.
And for a guy like Slade, I mean, so many different emotions got to be going through this young man's head. I mean, excitement, a little fear. You know, we were talking about the size difference in this team. You know, I've talked about how sometimes up here on the press box, you know, we don't go down on the field a lot calling these high school games, and so it's kind of hard to tell the difference in size. We could tell from up here on the press box, and we know, you know, we noted how Slade is a smaller guy, but he is quick, he is elusive. Used it a bit right there to get a few yards. Still 3rd and long, though.
See what they do here on 3rd and 8. Going to send Ridge Whitney in motion, put trips out to the left. Looks to his left, puts the ball up, and picked by number 4, Jace Doman. That is not what you want if you're Fremont. Got to force him out of bounds there over at the 41-yard line, and this Skyridge offense is going to get right on the field 2 minutes into this first quarter.
Yeah, and right there, I mean, that's exactly what you want. We talked about winning the turnover battle for Skyridge right there. That's going to be number 34 on the season. And right there, not a whole lot that Jace Doman had to do. He just had his weight there, basically like a punt return. I think he was trying to hit a man, Parker, on an out route right there, just overthrown right there. You know, that's one thing I'm concerned about with young quarterbacks who are still developing their arms. You know, have that exact arm strength to gun it out into the outside right there. And so I think that they're going to need to play a lot more conservatively in the passing game going forward, especially after that turnover.
Yeah, that receiver ran an out route, and the ball looked a little bit deeper, like maybe he thought it was a go or a corner route, as we see Skyridge snap the ball here. Screen out right to Laakea Kalama. Ball's out! Picked up by number 10, Mason Palmer. And look, dude, field position is flipping back and forth, just jumping this 50-yard line. Here we go.
So we started at the 44th, and I think it was at, they got it back to about the Fremont inside the 30 and 40, and now it's back the other way. So this is going all sorts of different ways. I'm sure that the offense for Skyridge is just so frustrated. Like, that was just manna from heaven right there with that interception. It literally was. That ball coming down to Jace Doman, that was manna from heaven, quite literally. And that give up right there, that's just an unfortunate one that the running back couldn't hold on to the ball in that little give off right there. I'm sure he's going to have some words from the coach right there on ball security. But then again, another chance for Slade Parker to prove himself.
Pitches the ball off to number 5, Brig Grange, to a double pass. And, they're going to get a pass interference on that call. And that is number 5, Jace Doman, the one who had the DB who had the pick right before. And in a very unconventional way, Fremont's moving down the field. They actually gained yards from the interception to the fumble, and then gained another 10 to 15 on this pass interference call.
Well, I know sometimes it's sometimes like a 2-clock strategy where you just need to pick up tons of yards. Sometimes you'll just throw it up there, and because it's so common nowadays, because receivers are so. I'm a very defensive guy. I don't want to say coddled, but a little bit coddled as far as the pass interference rules goes. And right there, you know, what Doman was doing wrong, he just never turned around, even looked at the football, not make a play on it. He was just playing on the receiver right there. So an obvious pass interference is going to set them up at the about 36-yard line.
Fremont's going to come back out in this same formation. They haven't switched it up all game. Slade is going to throw another interception on that out route.
Well, that's number 20 on the year. And, you know, a conversation might already need to be had about a quarterback change. I mean, 2 interceptions and bad interceptions. These haven't been tip passes or anything like that. These have been straight into the defender's hands. That one right there threw it into double coverage, and a guy just jumped the route. Easy money right there. 3 turnovers, and we are at the 10-minute mark right now.
Yeah, we're, what, 2 minutes into the game?
Yeah.
And we're already at 3 turnovers. Each team's had the ball twice. And Slade Parker is now at 20 interceptions on the season, just to 6 touchdowns. As they hand the ball off. Here he goes, Tay Walker for a 15-yard carry. The ball's out. Fremont thinks they have it.
Trent Call to number 1, Tay Walker. He breaks the midfield.
See what the call is.
Into Fremont territory.
Referees are going to get together here. That ball came out at the end, but they are going to give it back to Skyridge and say that Tate Walker was down there at the 46-yard line.
First down.
Looking downfield, it's going to be short. Good coverage there on the play by number 2, Ridge Whitney.
Yeah, and right there, I don't know if there's miscommunication because he threw it almost as if he was going to come into a dig route, but it looks like he was running more of a skinny post right there. Perhaps a bit of miscommunication, or just perhaps not the greatest pass in the world, but nonetheless, this is going to set up 2nd and long for the Falcons.
Try to fake the snap count there a little bit, throw this defense off. I want to go back to something you said before this play starts. You mentioned at the top of the show, there's a little mouse in the back of this Skyridge head just whispering and throwing these guys in mistakes, which we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
Trent Cole's going to step up, going to take it down at the 35-yard line. He's going to get popped a little bit by number 49, Brant Coford, but there we go. Great pickup, nothing downfield. 15-yard gain by Trent Call.
Yeah, that's what I call a little Josh Allen run. You know, he doesn't slide. He goes head first into, though. Get all the yards he can right there. A good job right there. You know, you talked before the game about what a good rusher Trent Call is, and you said that you even might think he's like the 4th leading rusher on the team. Yeah, third. Excuse me, yeah. He's got 4 rushing touchdowns on the year. We could even see some tonight if they get close on the goal line. One thing I'm impressed about Trent Call, he's got a good frame to him. I really like just his build. He's got a good quarterback, and he's got good mobility in the pocket.
Going to hand the ball off to Tate Walker, just on the inside zone, up again, going to take it down to the 11-yard line. What a carry, just a simple inside zone for Tate Walker.
Well, it's so hard when you run trips out to the left right there. You're going to draw so much of the defense to that side, and just a huge gap right there. Easy first down and some more to set them up in the red zone.
Yeah, Skyridge's doing a really good job of moving these guys out of the box. The thing is, though, so far, Skyridge hasn't pushed the ball downfield, but I think if you're Fremont, that's what you're trying to avoid and keep them to the short yard gains. RPO, touchdown, number 2. That is Cannon Jensen. That is his 4th touchdown on the season. This first touchdown of the game in the 2nd round of these playoffs.
You know, Cannon Jensen right there, just a good route right there. I mean, RPO is pretty textbook, right? Everyone just needs to do their job. The one risk that you really run is possibly getting a legal receiver downfield to the offensive lineman. I know that Alex Tumulip and I saw so many of those when calling the games for Timpanogos so far this year, but successfully run right there.
Going to make that a 7-0 ball game here with 9 minutes left to go as we tee off here, as Skyridge is here dominating Fremont, picking that ball up, picking it off again at the 45-yard line. That's 7-0 with 9 to go here at Skyridge. Isaac Herfel here on the kick. Is it 7-0 here at Skyridge with 9 left to go in the first quarter after, what was that, 3 turnovers?
3 turnovers, and we thought for a second possibly a 4th, right? There was a little bit of some discussion, at least on the Fremont side. They thought they got the ball. But yeah, 7-0, good drive right there. It was a little delayed for us. We thought that they were going to be able to score as soon as they got the ball, knowing how potent they are. And of course, these two teams met up earlier this year and of course beat Fremont 52-7. We were kind of expecting a similar result here tonight, but with it being the playoffs, you know, you never know. Anything's possible.
Anything goes on a Friday night. We just saw, like you said, 3, almost 4 turnovers. You got to think that ball security is going to be a huge discussion on both of these sidelines. We'll see how effective that discussion plays out here with 9 minutes left to go in the first quarter as Fremont takes a touchback. Going to start with the ball at the 20-yard line. Once again, going to send Ridge Whitney in motion, put trips on the left side. Trent, they're going to throw that screen pass, not accurate. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Slade Parker struggling to get this offense going.
Yeah, and that one right there, I mean, the screen worked well. He had time and space, but he had a defensive end right in his face. I couldn't see with a number right there. I think it was number 93 on the Fremont side. Yeah, Deshaun Toilolo, yeah. Forgive me for the name butchering. I need to do better on that right there. But yeah, I think he was up in his face right there, so he kind of had to throw it to the ground. And even right there, it was kind of a risky pass. There's a linebacker right there.
So far, Slade Parker has yet to complete a pass. Let's see if he gets here one on 2nd and 10. He's looking downfield. Pass rush. He's going to get swallowed up by this Skyridge D-line.
Parker goes down on
taken down by 90.
Number 90,
Ian Mariner. And there we go. This four-man rush getting home on this Fremont offensive line, taking down Slade Parker.
Yeah, it looks like Mariner and Toilolo right there ran a little switch up, so they kind of just switched sides right there, switched up, and confused the offensive line right there. And by the time that Slade figured out what was going on, it was too late.
Going to send Luke Scholes in motion once again, put 3 receivers on that left side. Slade Parker looks down again, and he is going to be picked up and dropped by this Skyridge D-line. 3 down linemen, 1 outside linebacker getting home, closing that pocket in on him here real quick.
Yeah, right there. And it looked like the defender started to pick him up for a second. I was getting worried he was going to throw him down, and of course that usually draws a flag right there. That would have been unnecessary. I think it was good the rest of his teammates came in and bear hugged him and Slade Parker to prevent that. Set up a punt deep in their own territory.
Yeah, 4th and 17, they're going to punt here. Fremont's offense has got to be feeling worse than me walking out of Black Adam last week. Like, this is not a good way to start if you're trying to upset the #1 team in the country.
Yeah, maybe there'll be a post-credit scene at the end of this. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll hope so. We'll see if we see a post-credit scene as we get this punt off. They're going to take a fair catch, get the ball right there at the 41-yard line. The ball really hasn't progressed that far past this 50 all day outside of that 1 pass interference call, which Fremont went and gave away on a 2nd pick of the game. You do wonder, struggling to move the ball this much, how long until we see number 9 Braxton Young come out and try and lead this offense, because you don't have a whole lot of time before this thing gets out of hand.
Yeah, Braxton Young, he definitely has a better arm, and this is one of those things where this is a playoff game, and we know how good Skyridge is. Skyridge isn't a team that's going to let up, a 21-point lead or something, so they need to make sure that they change things really early on and not let the game get away from them.
Going to hand the ball off to Tate Walker once again. Again, easy play, going to pick up 5 yards. They're not putting Fremont in a position to get a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, and right here, ball security, I think a great way to have ball security is just run the ball, Don't have the risk of putting it up in those, 5 playing in the secondary. Just keep it on the ground. We talked pregame about how much they like to run the ball. They're doing it right there. And those 5-yard gains, do that every play. You're going to chew the clock and eventually get in the end zone.
Again, this same 2 receiver to the right, gun formation. Going to pull that left tackle. Tate Walker's going to step back, break a tackle, gain about 2 yards, but he's going to get popped in the head. That did not look like it felt good.
Yeah, that was Bodie Goins right there. He came in and just looked like a head-to-head contact right there. That one, we could hear it from all the way up here easily. But, he's still on his feet, the running back, and ready to go for another one on 3rd and short.
Interesting hit to make if you're the backup quarterback in Bodie Goins, but you know what? Quarterbacks can hit too.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna send Lakia Kalama in motion. And here we go. Trent Cole's taking it down. Stiff arm and gain about 4 more yards. Going to take it out of the 6-yard line. And once again, the Skyridge Falcons are within scoring position.
Yeah, and right there. And we know that, Trent Cole, always a good runner. He's not an incredible speedster, right? He's no Lamar Jackson out there. No Bryce Young. But, that was just credit to the offensive line right there, and call reading the play and going on that option right there to the outside. A good pickup, set him inside the 10-yard line right here. I'm interested to see, line up, watch the top of the screen right there. You got a one-on-one situation, watch the click slant or a little fade route.
Lake Kalama in motion again. Hand the ball up the middle. That is number 20, Carter Sheffield, who actually leads the team in interceptions, getting a carry there, trying to punch it in the end zone.
On the stop, number 35, Christian Blanch.
Sheffield is actually averaging 6.3 yards per carry, and he has 6 touchdowns, 6 offensive touchdowns on the season.
Yeah, and that just shows, one thing that's great about this team, I've called a lot of games for Timpanogos this year, and they have Luke Livingston over there, who's just a touchdown powerhouse. He scores about, on average, 4 touchdowns a game.
Little boot to the left, and that is going to be a touchdown right over the goal line to number 9, Josh Davis, the tight end, going in motion and picking it up. That is his 4th touchdown on the season as Skyridge makes it 13-0 with 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter.
Yeah, and to finish up my last thought right there, it's his 4th touchdown of the year. They have so many just consistent players on their team. It's not like they're relying upon one guy. And the problem with teams when they're relying upon one guy is the defense figures it out, they become so one-dimensional.
Yeah, as I was going through doing stats for this game, nobody on the offense has that many touchdowns because they all have close to 2 to 3 touchdowns. Every guy on this offense. So there we go. It's going to be 13-0. They missed the PAT. 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. We'll be right back.
Bird Homes is a Utah-founded community builder and a proud sponsor of Skyridge football. Bird Homes not only builds commercial and multifamily buildings, they build and support Utah communities. Bird Homes builds for you. Go Falcons.
Hi, I'm Amber Clark, head manager of the Skyridge football team. This is a Lander Falcon. Falcons are the fastest animals on the planet. They read body language and are extremely aware. Let's make 2022 the best season yet. Go Falcons!
Welcome back to Skyridge and Fremont. 5:15 left to go in the first quarter. Skyridge missed their PAT, so it's 13-0. What's the adjustment here if you're Fremont, Alex?
Fremont right here, I think you just got to run the ball. Run the ball a lot more. They're passing it way more than I expected them to, especially with the fact of how many interceptions Slade Parker is, thrown so far this season. And another good kick return
Chase
right
Haven
there.
Once again making a cutback, going to put the ball at the 40-yard line, which he did on his first kickoff of the game. Their special teams, their kickoffs being more effective than the offense.
Yeah, on 2 of their 3 drives, pretty good starting field position thanks to the efforts of these punt returners and kickoff returners right there. And, you got to take advantage of this right here. At least get into the position where you can kick a field goal, get some points on the board, and at least make it a bit more interesting. Of course, that would still make it, at this point, a 2-score game. But, yeah, and of course, Slade Parker comes out once more. But, hopefully for their sake, they either switch it up a bit with the passing game plan or choose to run the rock.
Going to come in that same trips to the left set. Going to hand the ball off, and he's going to get stuffed right at the 49-yard line for a gain of about 3.
Yeah, and right there, if it does nothing more, just start to give some confidence for the offensive line. You've been stuffed up a few times. You haven't been able to protect your quarterback that well, but if you're able to pick up a 3-yard gain, I think that's going to give confidence to everyone on the offense, and keep it going. It's a slow and steady pace.
Once again, this same gun trips left formation. Slade Bolton's going to draw back to pass. Once again on the out route. Pass broken up. That is number 2, Cannon Jensen. 3rd time in a row. Every single pass we've seen today, I believe, other than that screen pass, has been an out route. Which, again, I understand, you want it to be short and easy completions, but also the out route is the easiest pick to take to the house of any route on the field.
Yeah, I think that we know how limited Slade's arm can be, so you don't expect him to go that out and up, right? So as soon as they cut out right that, they're going to jump on that, and that could be a pick really easily if they time it just right.
Slade going to drop back once again. Pressure in his face. Throwing that corner route. And once again, going to throw a pick to number 4, Jace Doman. That is going to be his Second pick on the season for the senior.
Again, number 4, Jace Doman.
Yeah, and Jace Doman, that's number 2 on the game. And Jace Doman, I mean, both times it's very similar route right there. All you had to do is just wait for it and just do a little, toe drag drill right there. And, once again, great starting field position. I don't think we've seen Skyridge start lower than the 40?
I don't think so.
Which is just, it's crazy. But, hey, they'll take it, right? And up 13-0, they're ready to go up 20-0.
Yeah, Slade Parker is at 21 interceptions here. My question is over under 2 more interceptions before we start to see the backup drop in.
Yeah.
Trent Call going to bomb it deep to number 2, Cannon Jensen. Number 1, Noah Austin, the safety, going to look for the tackle. He's going to get popped a little bit as Skyridge is going to move the ball into Fremont territory up to the 38-yard line for a Skyridge first down.
Yeah, it looked like the defense running a little cover 4 right there. So as Jensen came across the middle right there, he just sat in that little pocket above the 2 linebackers, and Call found him on the dig route right there for a nice gain.
Going to try and get these Silverwolves to jump off sides again. It's not going to work. They're going to step to the line and change the play. Going to move the back out to the left. Trent Call's going to drop back. Stepping up once again. Stopping, going, putting the ball down right at the 31-yard line. It's going to be short, like the width of a Subway sandwich, that short. It's going to be pretty close. We'll see if they give it to him.
Yeah, and other than the one designed option play where Call had a great run getting them inside the 10, these 2 times that he scrambled for it, what's happened is that they just sent receivers deep, and the linebackers will push back, and there's no pressure up the middle, so he has all the space in the world to just run it up. Good gain right there. He got a first down on his first go-around and got to pick up a 9 right there. Almost got a second first down just from scrambling.
Yeah, you mentioned the play before. They were in a cover 4. I don't know what they were in right there, but they're obviously selling out to stop this pass and trying to make everything go underneath into these linebackers in this D-line.
And it's working.
And once again, just inside zone, going to cut it back. Tate Walker, and he's going to drop down at the 21-yard line.
Yeah, taken down by Mason Palmer right there. Just a little shoelace tackle right there. And, we know how good this running back is on the ground right there. He's speedy. Walker, I really like just his elusiveness. Some of these smaller guys, it's just so hard to tackle him and wrap him up.
Once again, Trent Call is going to step back. Look up to Josh Davis. It's going to be broken up by number 21, Parks Benson.
And Josh Davis already having that touchdown on the night. He was licking his chops, hoping to get in the end zone for a second night right there, but that ball just a bit behind him right there. And another thing to be aware of, maybe Trent Call was wanting to put a bit behind him because there's that free safety coming over the top, maybe just a bit of protection for his tight end on that post route.
Parks Benson showing a little bit of fight here, going up on that tight end as they come out in that trips right formation once again. Going to send number 39 in motion. Going to receiver screen out to the right as they take him out of bounds. That is caught by number 22, La'akea Kalama. They are going to pick up 7 yards. Going to be right there at the 16-yard line.
And them choosing the pass short is a rarity so far, but it's a necessary rarity because that's going to help keep just their offense diverse, keep the defense guessing, and it's important to do that because then after a while, if they keep on running those, it's not only going to open up the deep ball game, but also the run game as well.
2nd and 3 with about 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. 13-0 Skyridge. Going to send La'akea Kalama in motion once again. Going to hand the ball off to Tate Walker. They're going to try and get that. I don't think they're going to. They're going to be about 2 yards short. Good stop by this Fremont defense. Number 18 and number 6. 18, Bodie Goins, and 6, Kale Cypers.
Yeah, and right there, it looks like they were just doing a little read option right there, and Call just chose the wrong guy right there. It looks like the linebacker, number 18, Bodie Goins, of course, the backup quarterback for Fremont, just was expecting to go the running back all the way. A bad call right there. It's going to set up a 4th down.
4th and very, very short. They're going to go 5 wide. 3 receivers out to the left. See what they decide to do here. Little hitch route to number.
He's getting tackled by so many guys who couldn't see his number.
Yeah, it's Who's that? Number 13. Number 13, Kyle Valdez, going to take that ball down at about the 3-4 yard line.
And right there, that's just textbook right there. Just run that little hitch route, find the pocket. He had, two guys, one to his left, one to his right, one right behind him right there. So a good pickup right there. I'm a huge fan of the empty set. It gives the quarterback so many options, and it can be really lethal in the short game. And so we saw it right there.
You wonder if this empty set, well, they're going to move out of the empty set, but you wonder if they're going to set up a quarterback draw here at some point. As they hand the ball off to Tate Walker once again. Into the touchdown, into the end zone. Number 22, Lakama Kalama, I'm so sorry. Going to make this a 19-0 ball game with 33 seconds left to go in this first quarter. They just can't stop this inside run.
No, yeah, it's been really tough. I think that that shows how good the Skyridge offensive line is. I've made some comments about it before, and the size difference. That's just going to kill them all night long.
Yeah, they're really not doing too much. Is they're going to go for it and not going to get it.
Yeah, looks like there was some discussion right there. Even the kicking team was asking the ref, and it looks like the coaching staff is having a discussion with them right now. So, ref's word's final right there. It looks like it's going to remain 19-0. That's the second missed extra point of the night. But regardless, 19-0. We've seen just how lethal the Skyridge offense has been. It looks like they're kind of having their way, and it's almost like an expectation at this point. Just when's Slade Parker going to give it to us? 'Cause that's been the story all night long.
I'd say I'm ready to see Smith Snowden, but I think he's just been so locked down, like his receiver's not even kind of open. So we have yet to see the 4-star cornerback for Skyridge, number 3, Smith Snowden.
Yeah, and we know how good he is, and Slade Parker, I'm sure he was briefed in just film training and stuff to just be aware of Snowden and how good he is. And so I'm sure that he might be looking his way, but he's not looking at him first option.
See if the highlight of this Fremont team, this kickoff return team, and more specifically Jace Hadley, can give them great field position once again if they want to try and upset the Skyridge team as we see kickoff here. Jace Hadley's going to take it right at the goal line, and he's going to get drilled, taken down, absolutely popped at the 12-yard line by
immediately by number 23 of the Falcons, Dalton Young.
Just rumbled out there by Dalton Young.
Yeah, Dalton Young right there. It's not like he dropped a shoulder, just their helmets met. That's going to happen. But, man, we've already seen some hard head-to-head contact hits. Every time this happens, man, it's just I know if this was college ball, we'd be seeing so many targeting reviews and stuff like that. I'm glad they don't have it. Of course, it's for the player's safety. But, it is part of the game right there. Both of them got up on their own strength. Nothing wrong right there. As we see Slade Parker come out once more, trying to get the first points of the night.
We're going to hand this ball up the middle to number 5, Brig Grange. He's going to spun around a little bit. Going to take him down at about the 16-yard line for a gain of about 2.
Yeah, just a little power run to the left right there, and they had some offensive linemen shipping to the left. And the problem is when you have kind of those guards going in motion right there, you run the risk of just the defensive lineman being so fast to stop the running back in his tracks. That's what happened right there. I think they need to just be a bit more standard, run some classic just zone runs. And that is going to end the first quarter with the score 19-0. And it's been an interesting first quarter. I think the turnovers have been really surprising for both of us.
It all starts with a smile. To show you care, offer a sign of love, welcome someone home. Even when we don't see each other, or share a room, even without words. Smiles bring us together. Let's keep yours healthy. Stonehaven Dental. Schedule online at stonehavendental.com.
Back here at Skyridge, as Skyridge leads Fremont 19-0 with a quick first quarter. Before we get to anything else, we want to give a big shout out to Surgical Wound Care Associates. They are proud to be the presenting sponsor of Skyridge football. These skilled providers understand the importance of teamwork in the provision of advanced care therapies across our great state since 2017. Surgical Wound Care Associates takes pride in our community partnerships and appreciates the dedicated teamwork from our partner physician groups, nurses, agencies, hospitals, and facilities who come together to improve the quality of life for our patients and their families. So we're going to see Fremont start with the ball here. 1st and 10, 12 minutes to go in the second quarter. Same formation. Slade Parker's going to look deep to number 85. That is David Cowper on that fade. Incomplete pass. So once again, Slade Parker is having a tough time getting the ball to the hands of these receivers.
To be fair, that was an incomplete pass right there and a great coverage right there by the defense. But I thought that was honestly his best throw of the night. That was a good deep ball, outside shoulder. That's right on the money. But, that's a very skilled catch to make on terms of the wide receiver. That's going to be tough, especially when you have a defensive back right up in your face.
Slade Parker once again going to take the snap. Look out left. Going to roll right. Looking downfield. Pass intended for number 9. That's Braxton Young. Once again, incomplete. Going to make this a third, fourth and long.
Yeah, that's right, because they had that short little run that was stuffed up right before the quarter ended. And now with the second quarter underway, I'm wondering, I've seen just on that drive, it looked like their plan is a little different. It looked like they made some offensive line adjustments. Slade Parker's had a bit more time to throw. His throws were at least closer to his wide receivers, both incomplete, but both times they were just great defensive coverage. On that last pass, that pass was kind of thrown out of bounds to avoid a sack right there.
Going to get the punt off, dropped back. Number 1, Tate Walker is going to take it right up the yard line, going to get a gain of about 7. And once again, Skyridge is going to start on their own side of the field.
I know, that's something that I was just thinking about. They haven't even had to start in their own side of the field. There was the one time with the interception, or maybe twice with the interception, but both times it's not like they're starting lower than their own 30 right there. And I think that this is just money for them. To give you some quick score updates from around just the leagues right now, Corner Canyon playing Layton, of course, the number 3 and 22 seed respectively. Corner Canyon beating Layton 63-0 right now, and so that game is currently going on in the third quarter.
Incomplete pass intended for Akana Kalama. There's a flag in the backfield at about the 21-yard line. We'll see what that's about here in a second.
Yeah, right there. When it's thrown back there, you assume maybe just some holding. But we'll wait to see what the call is right now.
Josh Davis coming off. Get the play call, going to run back in. They're going to move the football back 15 yards. It's going to be 1st and 25 here for Skyridge. And once again, well, not once again, for the first time tonight, really, Skyridge is going to start at their own side of the field following that personal foul by Skyridge.
Yeah, worst field position of the night thus far for the Falcons. And honestly, if you weren't to know the scoreline of this game and you were to tell someone that one of the team's worst starting field position up to this point in the game, and if the trend continues for the whole game, was their own 45-yard line, I think you'd have a pretty good indication of who came out on top.
Gonna start here. Gonna send Kalea Kalama and motion. Gonna make a man miss. Trent Call's gonna get out to the edge and take it up to the 45-yard line right across midfield.
Yeah, and right there, Trent Call, just a good job just spicing and dicing back there, keeping it interesting in the backfield, and rolls out to the left. He had Tate Walker open just on a little, just a little running back curl route right there, but he decided to just keep it for himself. It would have been kind of an awkward throw to make, and he's able to pick up the first down.
Yeah, way to go by Trent Call, made that defender look shaky like Shady, like he just lost his ankles, and Trent Call did a great job of breaking out to the edge and making this a 2nd and 15.
Yeah,
3rd and 15, sorry.
Yeah, excuse me. I said first down. I don't know what I was thinking. I forgot about all the penalty yardage on that last one right there. So still quite a bit to go. So it'll be interesting to see because this is going to be their longest 3rd down of the night thus far. So definitely going to have to open up their playbook a bit more. We've already seen how versatile they are in different situations, so I'm excited to see what they draw up.
So we got a safety all the way back about 16 yards deep.
And quickly, we apologize for some scoreboard troubles for any of the viewers at home. If your scoreboard says first, we're actually in the 2nd quarter right now with just under 11:30 in the 2nd.
Trent Call dropping back, looking like he's dancing a little bit. He's still looking downfield, looking for Josh Davis, trying to moss him. That pass broken up by number 18 for Fremont, but there's going to be a pass interference call on that because just like the previous pass interference call, you got to get that head turned around, otherwise the ref's going to throw the flag.
Yeah, and that was Bood Goins right there. And the problem right there, yeah, like you said, not turning it around, and also too, he put his hands into the receiver as well, so not only was he not turned around to make a play on the ball, he was just pushing the receiver out of his route right there. That's an easy pass interference call.
What a play by Trent Call, though. We've seen him run the ball a couple of times tonight. That time, looked up, stopped like he was going to take it, and then found the open receiver. He does a great job at giving his receivers time to get open, and his offensive line does an even better job at giving him time to throw the football. Not getting any coverage sacks here if you're Fremont. That pass interference call is going to move the ball to the 30-yard line. They're going to pick up that 1st down. So it's going to be 1st and 10 with 11:15 left here to go in the 2nd quarter as Fremont is hosting Skyridge here tonight. Once again, Skyridge going to try and get Fremont to jump off sides. They're not going to get it. Going to change the play here. Going to move Tate Walker out right.
Ooh.
Gonna pitch it back. Christian Blanch was trying to get on, or Brant Coford, sorry, was trying to get on it. It looked like there was a little bit of a mix-up on that play.
Yeah. I don't know what was exactly was going on right there. I thought that was a broken play from the start. Trent Call looks like he was looking to immediately pitch it, or maybe it was a read option, but then he had just 2 defensive players right on him, so he just had to keep it, and then he tried to pitch it back to avoid a sack. Ended up being more of a loss, I think. Fortunately for the Falcons, Tate Walker's able to jump on the ball, and they're able to retain a possession 2nd and long now.
Yeah, they're going to get the ball. They're going to have about 13 to go here. See if they pick that up. Trent Call going to drop back. Free blitzer out to the right. Screen pass to Tate Walker, and that's going to be incomplete. Way to go by Fremont getting that blitz off the edge, trying to knock him off his game.
Yeah, and one of the things right there, there's basically 2 ways to stop those screens right there. Just make sure that the guy is intended. As soon as you see those offensive linemen shift out, and you will always see the running back go out behind the offensive lineman, make sure that the guy gets there quick so that either it can be intercepted or just stopped right there, easy for a loss, or just blitz and get in the quarterback's head right there, and he's unable to make a good pass as we just saw.
It's going to be about 3rd and 18 here. Trent Call drop back once again. Nice little touch pass to Josh Davis. Going to get around the right side, make another guy miss, and drop it right down there at the 15-yard line as Skyridge moves into the red zone once again tonight.
20-yard line.
Yeah, and that one right there, just perfectly taking care of ball, just like floating right up there. And like you said, just good touch pass, putting it over the middle linebacker right there to number 9, Josh Davis, who's having a pretty good night thus far. Of course, he got the score early in the 1st quarter.
Hey, tight ends are receivers too. Somebody jumped. It's going to look like it's going to be a false start on Skyridge. So once again, they're going to start in negative field position at 1st down.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it hasn't stopped them thanks to some penalties and the efforts of Josh Davis. They've been able to continue to convert on these long down situations. And you were talking about how tight ends are receivers too. It seems like more and more often these more modernized offenses are going away from the routine look where their tight ends aren't just playing in the blocking position as an extra guy in the offensive line, but are actually lining up in the slot role to switch up their playbook.
Little RPO. Tate Walker's going to shake one. He's going to get to the edge of the 15, taking it down to the 10, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds. So once again, Fremont's penalties, these penalties are going to put Skyridge in a negative position, and this inside zone with Tate Walker is just going to make up for it as a result.
We talked about, he just picks up about 5 yards a carry, and on average, it seems like tonight he's picking up more than 5 yards, but if he can just pick up 5 yards at a bare minimum, the penalties really aren't going to be that much of a killer for them.
No, that should just show you how dominant Skyridge's offense is, that they can pick up a couple penalties on this drive alone and still be able to move the ball down the field regardless, which means you're getting chunk plays of at least 5 to 7 yards or more. As they're going to hit number 2, Cannon Jensen, on that out route, going to take the ball down to the 2-yard line.
Yeah, Cannon Jensen right there. Good little out route right there. And I always love it when the receiver catches the ball and immediately, once they make sure they have the ball, they look down and make sure where their toes are right there to know if they can celebrate or not right there. Just making sure they got in bounds right there. So a good pickup right there. Good catch.
You got to get that Nate Burleson toe drag swag, you know?
We love the toe drag swag.
Nate Burleson needs to copyright that.
Oh, no,
toe drag swag.
Toe drag swag. I remember thinking, like, Good Morning Football.
Good Morning Football.
Oh, yeah, that was the jam.
Going to have a heavy set to the left. Josh Davis going to come back with a crackback, and Tate Walker just going to punch it right into the end zone untouched to make this a 25-0 ball game.
Yeah, right there. That's the second time that we've seen a run like that just on the goal line. I mean, we talked about the penetration that this offensive line is able to create right there, and it's been more of the same. Very few times does it seem like the Fremont defensive line has been able to get anything going right there. And so, why not risk it? Why would you risk it throwing in the air? I mean, I'd ask Pete Carroll that, but I already know what happens when you do that on the goal line. So running right there is a safe option. Gets in for 6.
Hey, so there we go. Skyridge is going to make the extra point. Going to make this a 26-0 ball game with 9:40 left to go. Here in the second quarter, we will be right back. Hey, we welcome you back to KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of high school football, high school state playoffs. Here where Skyridge leads Fremont 26-0 with 9:40 left to go. Skyridge has yet to really start with terrible field position. The deepest they've gone into their own side of the field is the 40, which is ironically we're going to kick the ball off from.
I think some of the most successful plays have been these kick returns.
And taking it at the 1-foot line,
Chase Hadley's going to drop it right there at the 20-yard line. He's slow to get up. He got popped a little bit there at the end of that kickoff.
Yeah, no, that was a bit of a violent one, and it looks like there's actually a little bit of extracurricular activity going after the play. Some of the Skyridge players maybe not realizing the play was over. I was surprised there wasn't flags. We know how concerned they are about high school players' safety, and pretty much safety for all football players across the nation. We've seen that there's such an increase in care for concussion prevention, especially in the NFL, and so we've seen that at a high school level as well.
Slade Walker looking outside, double move, looking to number 85, David Calvert on that wheel route from the receiver position. Once again, not going to make contact with his receiver.
And just overthrown right there. And, it is interesting. Of course, accuracy is one thing, but there also comes a point where you have to be, one with the minds of your receivers. You have to know what their tendencies are. You have to know, outside, do you like the ball a bit more forward? And so by knowing that, you're going to be able to have a lot more accurate passing, and your wide receivers are going to trust you a lot more and make the offense a lot more cohesive.
Hey, Smith Snowden's going to come up in press coverage. He is not afraid. Is they're going to get that ball out to the receiver, number 5. That is Brig Grange, going to pick up 2 yards on the play. Going to make that another 3rd and long here with 9 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, one thing that I've been impressed with the Skyridge offense, the times that Fremont has gotten the ball, I mean, of course, a lot of times when they have gotten the ball, it's just been on these short carries, but they haven't been able to get, yards after the catch. This middle group of linebackers has just been so quick to stuff them up and not let any yards after the catch. I mean, this is just textbook stuff right here.
Press coverage can be dangerous for some guys because you can get beat, especially with a size advantage. Smith Snowden to the top of your screen is not afraid of that press at all. And another pick. That's number 6, Saxon Higbee.
interception.
And you're going to be down at the 1-yard line. They thought they had a touchdown. So that is 22 picks on the season for Slade Parker. How many until we see Braxton Young come out?
You know, and with about 8:36 to be exact left in this first half, I would think that they would probably switch with quarterbacks at halftime, because one thing you have to keep in mind is a rule that they have is once they go up 35, then the mercy rule goes into effect, and then clock's only stopped on scores and then on penalties as well, and of course injury timeouts. And so that's something that they need to be aware of, because we talked about the game getting away from them, but when they literally can't control the clock in the normal ways, like going out of bounds and spiking incomplete passes, it's gonna, well, it'll be in one sense a long game. For us, it won't be very long though. And right now, as the defense is getting coached up, I can only imagine the feelings going through the defensive players' heads right here. And it looks like there is going to be a penalty on the defense. It's going to push them back.
Football. And that's all.
So Fremont's going to keep the ball.
Okay, all right.
There was a penalty on that interception, so it totally negated that play. So Slade Parker's going to come out once again.
Where was I paying attention to? I'm just out of the loop on this.
Slade's going to roll outright, looking downfield, going to get the ball off to number 2, Ridge Whitney, for a gain of about 15. Hey, not perfect, not pretty, but it works.
No, and right there, I think when you got a freshman quarterback rolling out of the pocket, you get nervous. You see him loading up to throw a cross body in the middle of the field, you get even more nervous. I mean, those are hard throws for experienced quarterbacks right there, but he's able to find number 2 right there, Ridge Whitney, right in the middle of the field for a good pickup. Finally, about to be back in Skyridge territory for the first time since that early fumble.
What's interesting about Slade Parker is his interceptions haven't come necessarily when he was under pressure. They've been when he had open look. As we see Slade Parker once again dancing around. Looks like he's going to take this one, going to get a block, and going to pick it up for about 2 yards. Nice receiver block for that pickup. Going to make it about 2nd and 8 here with 8 minutes left to go in this second quarter.
Yeah, and he felt the pressure right there. And, you were just talking about how on the throws that he's throwing interceptions, he wasn't really feeling the pressure right there. And so, I think he does a good job of keeping the ball secure when he is under pressure, because, the odds, of course, of throwing a pick across all levels go up when you throw a pick when under pressure like that. But good job avoiding pressure right there and getting a good gain.
Great job by Slade Parker to get out of trouble on both of those last 2 plays. He's going to throw it up top to Calvert once again, and once again that fade route to Calvert is going to go out of bounds, going to be incomplete.
Yeah, and the free safety right there, Brady Beers, was just sprinting over trying to get an interception right there. He's thinking, all my other teammates have gotten one, I want one too. The ball was going out of bounds just to probably play protected on the ball. And a 3rd and long right now, this is tough because, with time running down in the first half, I think that if you're able to pick up a few yards here, you need to go for it on 4th down in order to keep the drive going and get some points on the board before halftime. Build off of something positive.
It'll be interesting to see if their play calling reflects going for it on 4th down, if they're just going to try and hit the sticks right here. Slade Parker's going to look down, going to take a little bit, draw up the middle, going to get right back to the line of scrimmage and maybe pick up a yard. If you're keeping tally like we are on interceptions, so Jace Dolman has 2. Brady Beers, who just made the stop on the last play, has 4 on the season, and then Sheffield has 7 and Snowden has 5. So, hey, look, some offenses, some players compete for touchdowns. This defense competes for interceptions because they have, I think, close to 26, 27 on the season tonight, including...
Yeah, it'll be 27 now on the season. They came in with 23, and with Parker's 4 tonight, simple math right there, 27. And I think it's ridiculous when you think about a team. You look at their stat line right there, and you just take away interceptions but TDs. You're like, oh yeah, this is a really high effective, defense. But knowing that this is if that were an offense, that'd be ridiculous. But the fact that it's a defense is just incredible, and it shows their worth. And there's going to be a timeout, which we will go to a break. Skyridge currently leading 26-0 at home.
Double pass from Parker to number 5, Brig Grange, and back to Parker. Parker fast. Thrown downfield, intended for 49, Brant Cofer.
Audio or visual. With us, we have 45 seconds left to go in this first half. It's on.
Yeah, and the only thing that's been missed so far during the break, there was a field goal. We're getting our scoreboard updated as well, as we didn't have access to that either during that technical difficulties. And Fremont's got the ball, trying to get some points on the board with limited time.
Slade Parker going to roll out once again, looking back to number 9, going to make a diving catch. That's Braxton Young, going to haul it in. Just kidding, incomplete, but what a layout.
Yeah, we couldn't really see the end result of that play from this angle with the Skyridge team just on the sideline right there, but that would have been one heck of a play and would have made things really exciting entering halftime.
Instead, they're going to be stuck at 3rd and 10. Back at the 25-yard line. See if they can make some magic here going into the end of the half. Going to send Ridge Whitney in motion, but there's going to be a timeout on the Fremont side, which means we are going to take a timeout here, as it is 29-0 with 36 seconds left to go in the first half. This game between Fremont and Skyridge. We'll be back in a second.
Other universities didn't fit into my life.
They said I'd have to quit my job to go to school.
They said it would take me 4 years to graduate. They said I have to take tests when they tell me to.
They said my degree would cost a fortune.
But I didn't have to listen to them.
Because I have a university that listens to me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the University of You.
Welcome back to this game between Fremont and Skyridge. Fremont's down 29-0 with 36 seconds left to go in the first half. Just took a timeout. We're going to send Ridge Whitney in motion. Put trips down on the bottom of your screen. Ridge Whitney's going to break, contain, once again, get the ball out to Ridge Whitney, and they're going to pick up about 7 yards. Whitney didn't seem to think that he was down, but the refs are going to put him down right there at about the 33-yard line.
Man, well, heck, when you get a good catch like that, I mean, that's his second good catch of the night. The previous one coming on Slade Parker's little rollout they found over the middle right there, probably their best offensive play of the night. But when you get a catch like that and you've been stuffed all night, you just want to hope and pray that you weren't actually down. So, of course, you're going to keep on running right there. And Slade Parker took a hard hit in the backfield from number 45, Tausili Akana, from the backfield right there. Needed some help from his offensive lineman to get back up. And there is going to be a timeout from Skyridge, who's going to take us to break once more, 29-0.
Welcome back into KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of high school football Utah State playoffs, presented by Brent Brown Toyota and Scion.
Something to make a quick note of, whoever wins this game will be facing off against either Riverton or Davis, whoever's going to win that one. And currently Davis is leading Riverton 28-14. So if things continue to trend, it looks like Skyridge will play one of those two teams. That game is currently in the second quarter.
Smith Snowden's going to blitz right up the middle. They're going to go for it on fourth down, and it looks like they're going to pick up 6 yards on that out route and get it.
Yeah, how about a little just bull rush at the end right there? Get their sideline all hyped up. I mean, that's always something that you want to see, especially when you're down this low. Give something positive for the team to cheer about on the sideline as well. Good to see those players getting happy.
Fremont's going to pick up the first down with 20 seconds left to roll in this first half.
Sideline warning against Skyridge.
Skyridge's going to get a sideline warning for their extracurricular activities on this last play. Slade going to step up once again. Going to look downfield, going to get it out to Calvert, number 85.
I'm interested to see the placement of this ball because it looks like he caught it, but I wasn't sure that he extended for the first, and he very easily could have. But it does look like they are going to move the chains. Send it up. I mean, hey, this has been a pretty good drive. I mean, they just need to treat every drive like they only have 45 seconds on the clock, and this score would be a lot closer thus far. And one thing I've been impressed with is Slade Parker's ability just to stay mobile in the pocket and still get the ball away. Just on these last two throws, it kind of looks like just like a little bit of like Zach Wilson-esque back there.
Going to look downfield once again. Going to go deep on the fade route to Calvert. Calvert's been the most targeted receiver tonight. We don't have advanced analytics or anything here, but if we did, I'd be willing to put money on Slade Parker being wildly more effective outside of the pocket than inside of it.
Yeah, I wish we had like one of those like fancy graphic stat screens, right, where we can see his accuracy, his stats right there. But I think you're definitely right. And also, he's done a good job when he rolls into the pocket, no one open, pick up a few yards. We've seen that a few times as well.
9 seconds left to go here in this first half. Skyridge 29, Fremont 0. Stepping up in the pocket again, looking deep to number 19. And that's going to be broken up by number 4, Jace Doman. He just headhunting for interceptions right now.
I know, right there. And it was funny. He kind of had the receiver in his lower belly. So, and he's even gesturing to his sideline right now that he was trying to just one-hand that little Air Jordan status on that one right there. Unfortunate to come up with it. Not come up with it, excuse me. Set up third down right here. And with 2 seconds, you know, I'd be surprised, just a little play, and maybe I don't think that they're going to try anything crazy with laterals or anything like that, but hopefully just break away for a big play.
Going to take this ball with 2 seconds left to go. Going to get it out, and they're going to go with another double pass. Downfield looking, and they're going to come, Skyridge is going to come up with another interception.
Punch return on defense.
They're going to pitch it back, pitch it again to Smith Snowden, number 3, who's going to give it off again to number 45. It's madness, and the ball, it looks like a little bit of a forward pass. Another pitch. They just keep on rolling. He's got an open lane to the end zone. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Holy, that was a lot of pitches on that last play. He's gassed. I'm gassed at the end of calling that play. But after all of that, we have 2 flags out on the field. 3 flags. We got laundry all over this thing. And the play's not going to stand, but man, it was fun to watch.
I mean, that looked like Music City Miracle right there. I mean, I was waiting for them to do it because, I mean, at this point, the defense is thinking, I don't know if the defensive coach is just like, you know, who cares, just do it. Or if he's going to be mad at them, but the defense is probably thinking, I don't even care anymore. You know, we just want to get one. You know, we've had so many turnovers, let's get a touchdown as well. But I'm sure that a lot of these are going to be blocks in the back and unnecessary roughness, as it looks like one of the guys in the Fremont offense was taken out on the sideline right there on the return. As that touchdown most likely will not stand. It'll remain 29-0 and take us to the half. We'll wait to hear the call from the refs.
But not unlike the Music City Miracle, which I will still contend there was and everyone will contend there was a forward pass on that play.
Absolutely.
And just like the forward pass of the Music City Miracle, we had a forward pass down here at the 40-yard line. That's what that flag is for. Look, I get it. At that point, you pitch the ball, like 3-4 times. You don't even care how it happens. You're just trying to get the ball to the end zone, even if it doesn't count. Man, those boys had to be having fun out there.
Yeah, I know, just a little bit of rugby going on out there. And it was funny. At one point, it looked like the guy was finally getting taken down. I wasn't sure who had the ball at that point, but the ball just suddenly popped up in the air. And so he was just trying to keep the play alive. He did right there, able to get in the end zone, but of course, probably not going to result in 6.
Yeah, I thought they had Smith Snowden then to rights, and then he gets it out to number 8, Caleb Yentes, who ended up, I think, pitched the ball to somebody else, then got it back, and he was the one who ended up scoring the touchdown.
Yeah, while our cameras focus on the refs finishing up their discussion with some of the Skyridge coaching staff. You know, the
block in the back is the first call against Skyridge. They're going to decline that one.
There was a penalty of block in the back. That penalty is declined.
Another penalty declined by Fremont. And then illegal forward pass also on Skyridge. And that looks like it's going to take us into the half. as the clock hits 0. We'll wait to see what the refs decide here.
Yeah, there's still more. There's one flag on the ground. I'm not sure if the refs have picked it up. There was so much laundry going around. I'm not even sure they're aware of all the other ones.
If you're the Skyridge coaching staff, I'm not even really sure what there is to discuss, because the play 100% didn't count.
Yeah.
And it's not like penalties accumulate like in basketball or soccer where you get kicked out. Like, I'm not sure totally what we're upset about here.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if they're gonna have one more play. So it looks like there will be. And by the looks of it, yeah, it looks like the Skyridge offense is the one that's going to be taking the field. So the interception will stand, but the clock at 0, perhaps at the time of the flag, there was still time left on the clock. But I really don't think that's why. So, but nonetheless, it looks like we are just going to see a little victory formation, at least for first half victory for sure. 29-0, going to be getting the ball before halftime.
All right, so 29-0 here at the end of this first half. We're going to go to break real quick. We'll give you our thoughts on the first half, and then we will wait for the second half. Skyridge 29, Fremont 0 here at Skyridge.
Bird Homes is a Utah-founded community builder and a proud sponsor of Skyridge football. Bird Homes not only builds commercial and multifamily buildings, they build and support Utah communities. Bird Homes builds for you. Go Falcons.
Hi, I'm Amber Clark, head manager of the Skyridge football team. This is a Atlanta Falcon. Falcons are the fastest animals on the planet. They read body language and are extremely aware. Let's make 2022 the best season yet. Go Falcons!
So Skyridge deferred to the second half, so they're going to get the football now.
Yeah, you changed to third. You clicked the twice.
They're going to let that go. They're going to take the touchback and move the ball out to the 25-yard line.
Falcons take over at their own 20-yard line. First down.
And so we'll see who starts at quarterback right here.
That's what I was just going to say. Let's see who we get. It'll be interesting if, I mean, look, Trent Cole went out with an injury and now had no issue coming right back. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And it looks like we are going to get Trent Cole. He is not ready to end his night.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that he got up on his own strength. I mean, this is high school playoffs, right? He's not going to let a little injury like that, when he can still walk on his own accord, get in the way. Having a great night. He's a senior. This is last year. He wants to have a memorable playoff run.
Gonna the ball out to the edge to this slot back. Akana Kalama. That's a mouthful, and he's going to be a handful, given to move the ball about 19 yards down to the 39-yard line.
Yeah, both of us are struggling with some of the Polynesian names, and of course we don't have our brother from Hawaii, Alex Tumalip, with us, who always helps with the pronunciation.
Tay Walker going to put the edge again, going to take it to the 50 and going to get punched out of bounds by number 35, Christian Blanch. Christian Blanch is quite the stud at linebacker. We both watched his highlight tape. We thought he was going to have a bigger impact today than he really has.
Well, it's been interesting because, you know, right as we were having technical difficulties when our feed went out for audio and video, it seemed like the offense for Skyridge kind of stalled a little bit. They were only able to put 3 on the board coming out of break. So, you know, you viewers at home didn't miss a whole lot of offensive action right there, as that was a great throw across the middle right there as Cole ran out of the pocket and found number 2, Jensen, on that play. He's been a consistent receiver thus far.
First down, Skyridge.
There used to be the mantra that when you're a quarterback, when you go outside, you don't put the football back inside.
Yeah, Brett Favre.
But in the same way that Steph Curry just made every kid think that he can shoot threes, Patrick Mahomes has made every kid think, oh, if you go outside, you can put the ball right back inside, as Cannon Jensen makes the catch and gets a first down for these Falcons. Going to see a little bit of movement here.
Yeah, it was going to be a false start right there on Carson Jensen, who was a little antsy to get that ball back after that great catch in the last one.
On the offense, Skyridge goes back 5 yards.
But again,
Still first down.
starting with these 1st and 15 situations is unfortunately not anything new to Skyridge, but similar to the game that Alex and I did last week with Lone Peak, you can only carry these penalties for so long. This isn't going to work when you have to play teams like Corner Canyon or any other of these bigger seeds in the 6A region.
Yeah, really good point right there. You have to stay disciplined, so I'm sure that's something they're going to focus on in practice this week.
Looking deep, going to get the ball out to, it looks like Akana Kalama once again, and it is on that out route. Going to pick up about 7 yards. Going to put the ball at the 35-yard line, 33-yard line, with 10 minutes left to go here in this third quarter.
You know,
hey, Akana Kalama, he's listed on Max Preps as a SB, which if you don't know what that is, it's a slot back, which means he basically does everything.
A little Swiss Army knife back there.
Little bubble screen out to the right, going to give him a dead leg. Going to get the ball about to the 30-yard line, going to push for a couple extra yards. Fremont thinks they have the football.
Yeah, there was a loose ball flag that I saw the ref throw.
It'll bring up 3rd down and 1.
It's going to be 3rd and 1. They're going to be about a yard short. Once again, Skyridge gets into 1st and 15, 1st and long situation, and it's not even something out of nothing because this has just been average for them all night.
Yeah, when they're averaging 5 yards to play, it's not super hard to do.
Hand off to Tate Walker. He's going to pick up that 1st down. So usually, my first thought with penalties, you know what Taylor Swift says, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, except not with Skyridge because they're playing stupid games with these penalties and they're making it work anyway.
Yeah, and stupid prizes. I mean, 2nd round of the playoffs ain't a bad prize to win right there. And they're getting it done. And I think, going back to, you made a really interesting point. If they do face Corner Canyon again, these are mistakes that they cannot let up. I think something that's so interesting about teams that are really, really talented but struggle once they hit playoff time as they hit play against more and more talented teams, or the teams that struggle. I remember the Kansas City Chiefs a few years ago. It was actually the year they ended up losing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They really struggled with penalties as well. And of course, there comes a point where sometimes talent just overrules penalties because, as well, on the other side of the ball, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were the most penalized team in the league that year, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl that year. So penalties do play a factor, but when you have just gushing with talent, like we're seeing thus far, it's like, it doesn't matter that much. Yeah, we'll get it back the next play. We're not too worried about it, Coach.
It's interesting that you make that point because this is the 3rd game that I've done this season. As we see that ball get swatted down, Trent Call, his pass is going to get swatted down. It's interesting that we bring up this point about penalties because this is now the 3rd time that I've said, the 3rd game this season where I've said, you got to clean up these penalties because it's not going to carry over. When I did West High, they are, I think, the #1 most penalized team in the state of Utah, and they blew out Kearns. They were starting every possession at like 1st and 20, went on to blow out Kearns. Lone Peak, insane amount of penalties, went to blow out Copper Hills, and then tonight, Skyridge, false starts, PIs, and everything. As Trent Call's going to stiff arm 2 eyes, he's all that in a bag of chips as he's going to take it down to the 5-yard line. But yeah, so it's interesting that you bring that up because you would think teams that are that penalized would not be as successful as they are, but recent history, like a lot of these teams we're seeing, sometimes you can get away with a lot of stupid things if you're that good.
Yeah, right there. Walker got stopped just short. It looked like he might have gotten to the end zone right there, but it looks like from our perspective it might have just been a lineman that was pushed into the end zone and not Walker himself. They're going to mark him down at the half-yard line. But yeah, just finishing off your point right there, penalties obviously very important thing to avoid, right? But when you have such an expansive playbook due to the talent that you have, it's really not going to limit you that much. But if you're Fremont on the other hand and you're having trouble even getting plays that are 5 yards or more, then penalties are going to be a huge issue for you.
Direct snap to number 8, Caleb Yentes, as we get All I Do Is Win pumping here at Skyridge. They're going to make that 35-0 on these Fremont Silverwolves.
And thus starts the clock drainage as mercy rule is now in effect. 35-0, awaiting the penalty kick. Not penalty kick, excuse me, PAT. I've been watching too much soccer lately. It is Champions League season after all.
Both football.
Yeah, different kind of football.
Is they're going to drill that. They're going to make it 36-0 with 7 minutes and 9 seconds left to go here in this third quarter. We will be right back here on KSL Sports Rewind.
Other universities didn't fit into my life.
They said I'd have to quit my job to go to school.
They said it would take me 4 years to graduate. They said I have to take tests when they tell me to.
They said my degree would cost a fortune.
But I didn't have to listen to them.
Because I have a university that listens to me.
Tests on your time. Courses on your time. Graduate on your time. WGU, the University of You.
Welcome back. It is 36-0 here in the third quarter with 7 minutes left to go, and a 35-point margin means, like you said, that mercy rule has kicked in, and we're going to see the clock run as soon as this possession has officially changed. See if these Fremont Silverwolves can get the ball moving again. Again, the most effective part of their game today has been Jace Hadley in this kick return.
Yeah, and this is going to be interesting because I just now realized this. This is going to be the first time that Fremont's going to have the ball in the second half. That was a long first drive from Skyridge. I mean, there were obviously a lot of times that went out of bounds and some penalties here and there. We had to get the clock stopped for the refs to figure out some issues. So that's going to be a touchback right there to set up the Fremont offense. And so once more, a point that I made, I really want to see the Fremont side. They need to play smart right here. Don't play hero ball, all right? Only person I want to see getting saucy with it is Slade Parker out of the backfield. Just do a little rollouts. If you can't make the throw, don't risk it. You already have 4 interceptions in the night. I'm sure that's weighing heavily on his and his coach's mind, as well as his wide receivers too. They're frustrated that they can't get the ball to them. They have some good size and some good speed in their wide receiver core. And so when there's just not that ability to get the ball to them, of course it's going to be frustrating. Just get the receivers the ball and get this offense rolling.
Slade Parker going to drop once again, and he's just going to step up and he's going to be sacked. Lose about 5 yards there on the play.
Not an ideal start for the offense for the second half. And, we've seen this exact kind of play right here where we see both defensive ends for Skyridge just kind of beat both the tackles, and Slade's forced to step up and get some yards, maybe 2 or 3 yard gains. But at that time right there, they knew what he was going to do right there, so they were able to contain him right there and bring him down for the sack.
Look, it's like I tell my English professor, sometimes I'm just more successful in chaos. Sometimes my papers are best right before the deadline, and Slade Parker's done his best work in chaos, as they're going to make a man miss, and he's going to get run down out of bounds. That is number 3, Luke Scholes. But you're right, you made the point a couple times now. We know Slade Parker's best plays tonight have come when he's been in chaos. Some guys just throw better on the move, on the run, because they feel like they're playing Madden. It's just more fun to play the game that way. So you really do have to start running these play action and just design boots and such to get him in a better feel for throwing this football.
No, and it is interesting. One thing that I've really noted throughout all levels of football, high school, college, even in the professional leagues, is the fact that how effective offenses are when playing the 2-minute drill. It's just like this go, 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 go. I think that, one thing we haven't seen a lot from this team so far, Fremont, and it probably has the fact that it's a freshman quarterback just learning the system. As Slade's taking that from behind, the ball goes out of bounds. It looks like it's still going to remain Fremont ball. But the fact that with that no-huddle offense, it keeps the defense just on their toes. They don't have as much time to get set. And I think as well, when there's so much pressure on the offense, that sometimes normal responsibilities like staying in your zone, right? As soon as you see the quarterback take off, you're going to start stepping out of your zone to go get him, and that's going to leave guys open in the middle of the field, as we've seen a few times here tonight as Slade Parker's hit some throws right there.
As we get set for this Fremont punt once again, we'll see if Skyridge ends up taking the ball on their own side of the field. So far it hasn't happened much tonight, so we'll see how that runs.
No, and one thing that's interesting about their punt cover is they send 2 guys back rather than the traditional 1 receiver. Oh, and it looks like there's going to be a flag on Fremont, as Skyridge players were telling the back umpire to throw the flag, and it looks like he concurred with them.
Yeah, play clock's going to run out. It's going to be a delay of game. They're going to be punting from even further back. So odds of them getting the ball across this 50-yard line and starting in excellent field position are pretty high. Akana Kalama is going to take that free fair catch. I apologize. And we are going to take a break. Skyridge 36, Fremont 0.
Bird Homes is a Utah-founded community builder and a proud sponsor of Skyridge football. Bird Homes not only builds commercial and multifamily buildings, they build and support Utah communities. Bird Homes builds for you. Go Falcons.
Hi, I'm Amber Clark, head manager of the Skyridge football team. This is a Atlanta Falcon. Falcons are the fastest animals on the planet. They read body language and are extremely aware. Let's make 2022 the best season yet. Go Falcons!
Skyridge going to pick up about 5 yards on that gain. They didn't wait for us to come back from break, so...
Yeah, I know. Where's our red hat? Throwing up the flag for the refs.
We don't have a flag guy up, so the refs just don't know when to run it. That's their bad, not ours.
Nonetheless, they were quick getting back just like that. Was a quick pass right there from Trent Call, who his arm looks just as good. It doesn't look like he's being affected by that lower body injury that he had back in the second quarter. It looks like he's been just as effective thus far.
Going to hand the ball off to Akana Kalama. Is going to pick up about 2 yards on the play, make it 3rd and 4. Yeah, that I feel like is one of the biggest differences that we've seen between these two quarterbacks tonight. And honestly, one of the bigger differences that I felt from watching Braxton Young warm up to Slade Parker, you've seen, like, it's one thing to not have a huge arm when you're throwing on the run. It's another thing to not have a huge arm and not make deep throws when you're standing still and you have a solid platform to throw off of.
Yeah, and, talking about, Braxton, who was warming up, and we were thinking, oh, man, is he going to get the start over Slade Parker? We didn't even see him warming up, really. The thought that I just had, and it probably is the case, as that pass is batted down right there, it's going to result in 4th down and bring out the punt team. But just wrapping up my thought quickly, I think they just have a lot of confidence in Slade Parker in his future. I mean, you have to think about what that would do for his morale if they were to take him out. The coach obviously has a lot of confidence in this young man and in his future. And they have a lot of confidence in all of these young players. And so they want to be able to keep him in there as long as possible and get as much experience as he can.
They're going to go no hurry on that punt down the ball at about the 17, 18-yard line. Yeah, you make a good point. There's a flag on the play down at the 49-yard line. You think that has something to do with that rushed punt coverage?
Yeah, well, I also heard, it sounded like probably a special teams coach, I heard him say from up here in the press box, where is our punt team? So I don't know, maybe there's too many players or not enough players in the field, or what the dealio is going to be with there, maybe something along that, or maybe it is just a classic holding.
But if you don't have enough guys, I feel like it doesn't make sense to go fast. You would think you would go slow if you didn't have enough guys because you wouldn't have everybody out there.
Well, I think the tempo was right there is that Fremont's defense wasn't sure whether they were going to go for it or not, and so they were trying to maybe catch them off when they were substituting on their special teams unit and catch them with too many players and pick up the easy 1st down off of that. But we'll wait to see what the call is as the ref comes out to center field now.
Skyridge could let off the gas at any point here, but you got to love the curb stomp mentality because you got to take that all the way because Corner Canyon is not going to let up on you. These other teams in 6A are not going to let up on you, so you just got to keep running the table.
No, Cobra Kai, sweep that leg.
Johnny Lawrence mentality, Cobra Kai mentality. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy here for Skyridge tonight.
And it looks like the refs actually were signaling it's going to be Fremont, unless I was mistaken. But we'll see what's going to go on right now as the ref's picking up his laundry. Oh, yep, there it is.
It's going to be on Fremont, and they're going to move the football. It's going to pick up the 1st down for Skyridge. Again, no mercy. Just keep running it.
And I think that was just they had too many players in the field, and so, rushing that punch, as you talked about, that was the strategy right there, and it worked out for them. They're going to be able to keep the clock. Of course, the clock only stopped because there was some discussion from the rest as we have just a little bit over 2 minutes left here in the 3rd as the clock continues to run now with the blow of the whistle.
Going to hand the ball off to Akana Kalama. Once again, he just whipping and weaving, and he's going to pick up 15 and then an extra 5 on the push at the end for about a 20-yard gain for Akana Kalama. What a game we're seeing from him.
He's doing really well. And talking about second half adjustments.
22, I thought was Akana Kalama.
as it gets set up right now, almost within the red zone. And again, as we talked about, it'd be interesting to see some of these statistics. I want to see just how many times they've entered the red zone. You think the score would honestly be higher based on the turnover ratio.
Number 20, Carter Sheffield.
Number 20, Carter Sheffield on the carry. Going to pick up 5 yards in addition to the 20 he picked up on the play right before. Going to make it a 2nd and 4.
You know, I think the best second half improvement that we've seen thus far is your pronunciation of Kalama's name. I mean, the last time you said it, that just flowed off your tongue. That was really good.
Kalama is a tough name.
Yeah, no, you said it perfectly. I was like, wow, Brett. What a second half performance.
That's the second half performance everyone should be paying attention to. I'm doing great.
The player of the night.
Yeah, that's right. Give it. Heidman Associates player of the game is me. As we see the refs throw a flag, Trent Call's going to get whipped down. See if they pick up extra yards here or if they lose some. See if that theme of Skyridge penalties continues here. Let's see. You made the point earlier about Trent Call's frame. He's gotten hit he's been hit a ton tonight, and outside of that one injury down here at the 20-yard line, he seemed to shake off pretty quick. He's having no issues taking these hits tonight.
No, yeah, and I mean, I think the difference between him staying in the game and staying out of the game is just his frame. I mean, if he was a bit smaller, didn't have a bit more muscle on his bone.
This is Slade Parker. It's a completely different conversation.
It is. I mean, we talked about Slade Parker, definitely the small frame, and it is definitely hard for smaller quarterbacks just in general. But Trent Call, he's just been a stud tonight running the ball and staying tough in the pocket when taking those hits.
Tate Walker lined up in the backfield. Trent Call going to go on the quarterback draw. Almost goes down, just keeps on moving, keeps churning, picks it up at the 20-yard line. That's what we like to call a rumbler.
Yeah, and right on cue, right? We were just praising him for his ability to run the ball right there. And his ability to, he does not go down. That's something that we see classic running quarterbacks, and even quarterbacks like Brett Favre, Steve Young. Those were guys that would not slide. They wanted each and every yard right there. Trent Call showing it in this playoff.
You almost feel like this might be BYU's defense with all these missed tackles here.
Oh, don't even get me started.
As they're going to swing the ball out to the outside. Again, Tate Walker going to be taken down to the 20-yard line, going to make it 4th down. As the clock runs out here, it's going to be 36-0. We will be right back as we start the 4th quarter.
And with that play, we'll put the 3rd quarter in the books. The score.
Other universities didn't fit into my life.
They said I'd have to quit my job to go to school.
They said it would take me 4 years to graduate. They said I have to take tests when they tell me to.
They said my degree would cost a fortune.
But I didn't have to listen to them.
Because I have a university that listens to me.
Tests on your time. Courses on your time. Graduate on your time. WGU.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Welcome back to round 2 of Utah 6A state playoffs. Alex, give us an update on how BYU's looking against East Carolina tonight.
For any Cougs fans out there, or if you just happen to be a fan of the East Carolina Pirates, because, why not? The score is currently 10-10 with just over 9 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. Just some interesting stats. So far, Jaron Hall is 3 for 6 for 16 yards. Only 16 yards. There is still less than 300 yards of total offense in the game. Defensive showdown so far, but definitely based on how this, season was anticipated to be, a major disappointment, but based on recent weeks, it's not that surprising, right?
So you're telling me Skyridge right now, before the game's even over, has more points than Jaron Hall has pass yards, as Josh Davis gonna pick up the football and take it down to the 3-yard line. He's gonna come back limping a little bit. He's not gonna go out because he's hungry for the end zone.
Yeah, he's trying to get touchdown number 2. on the night. Yeah, and Jaron Hall's my guy. So when he served as a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ, he was actually in my hometown, and so I actually was able to throw the football around with him a few times, and so that was always super cool. And so I always remember seeing him at different family members' houses and things like that, and so that was fun. So I always root for that guy. He's a very good guy.
Gonna pull that right guard. Let's see if they got it into the end zone on the inside zone.
And into the line, number 20, Carter Sheffield.
Carter Sheffield's going to be about a yard short, make it 2nd and goal. 1 yard to go here. Send a guy in motion. Trent Call just going to keep it. He's just going to run right into the end zone. He just keeps on munching on these quarterback keeps.
Yeah, and right there, that's touchdown number 5 for him on the season. And that was a good job right there. Just a little trickery as they called the wide receiver in motion on a little bit right before doing a fake handoff to the running back, and Trent Call just ran that around into the end zone to make the score 42-0 prior to the point after.
They're going to put the PAT through to make this 43-0 with 11 minutes left to go here in Lehigh. As we send you to break, we will be right back.
For over 25 years, Salt Lake Running Company has helped people of all ages and levels find the gear they need to start their fitness journey. From a free custom shoe fit analysis to a premium assortment of footwear and workout essentials, SLRC is a top 10 run shop in America. Locally owned, locally operated at 5 locations along the Wasatch Front. SLRC is there to help you gear up and get out. Visit a store near you or shop online at slrc.com.
As we get ready to see this Fremont offense with Slade, Parker once again. Alex, go ahead and give us some updates from around the region.
Yeah, so from around the region. Well, to start off, let's talk about Corner Canyon's dominant performance. They did not score a point in the second half. Didn't really need to, as they were going into halftime with a 63-0 lead, finishing that game, beating up 22-seeded Layton 63-18. And just one more score for you before we get back to our action, as we have a big
Rick
return.
Gray's taking out the sideline, 40, 35-30. Gets stopped by the kicker as he goes out of bounds. And best field position that Fremont has had tonight, again, thanks to the kickoff team. They got some speed.
They might get on the board.
Yeah, honestly, if we had to give a player of the game to each side, the player of the game would just go to the entire kickoff return team for Fremont, because that's been about the only thing that's worked for them tonight.
So this punt and kick coverage might be a point of concern for Skyridge going forward, because I guarantee you some of these other schools that they're going to be playing up against probably have, even more speed and better blocking. And if they're having struggles like this against a team that's struggling to even get points on the board or even struggle to get in this field position, it could be troublesome on the punt units.
Slade Parker once again drops back. He's going to take it up. He's going to go down at about the 25-yard line, but he's going to get popped on his way down.
And one more quick score update for you. Whoever wins this game, of course, is going to play against Riverton and Davis. Davis currently leading 42-31. A huge offensive explosion over there. That game currently in the third quarter.
Gonna kick it out to number 7, Chance Jostrom, and he's again going to get popped. Skyridge isn't letting anything fly out here.
No, and that's what we like it. We talked about that Cobra Kai mentality, right? And that was just a really strong hit right there. I mean, some of these, I was out last week because I had planned just to go to BYU's formal homecoming dance. Ended up not being able to go to the dance because I broke my collarbone. So I got surgery last Friday, so I was gone because of that. And so healing up right now. So every time I hear one of those hits, it just makes my body shudder just thinking about it.
Just cringe a little bit. You can feel the hit.
Oh, yeah.
Especially all the hits that Slade Parker is, again, going down with the sack, going down with the ships. They're doing a really good job at containing him, which is what you want to see, because Slade Parker's not the first multi-dimensional dual threat quarterback that Skyridge is going to see in these playoffs, and they've done a really great job at containing him every time he tries to break the pocket.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really good practice for them going forward against more mobile quarterbacks and more experienced quarterbacks. Of course, they're going to be playing against a lot more talented teams as a whole, as we have a Fremont player down, and it looks like the refs are going to take an injury timeout. And we should step aside here as the training staff comes out and attends to him, as Skyridge currently leads 43-0.
It all starts with a smile. To show you care, offer a sign of love, welcome someone home. Even when we don't see each other, or share a room, even without words, smiles bring us together. Let's keep yours healthy. Stonehaven Dental. Schedule online at stonehavendental.com.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
So there was a little bit of a scare on the field. We had a player down. Slade Parker, the quarterback for Fremont, had to be helped off the field. We'll see how that changes the quarterback situation here with 8 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. And we are going to see the man who we saw warming up, wide receiver Braxton Young.
Well, it actually looks like Braxton Young is going to be a wide receiver. It looks like it's actually going to be backup quarterback.
Oh, that is number 19.
Buddy Goins, as we've seen him make some
18,
good plays.
I apologize. Once again, going to look to Calvert on that back shoulder fade. That's a dot right there.
I mean, that right there, I think he was looking to him the whole way, double covered, but nonetheless, perfectly right in the breadbasket right there. I mean, hey, Goins, have a day.
It's one thing to see, like, I don't know, it's just crazy to me to see an outside linebacker going from hitting the opposing quarterback to then coming out in offense and slinging dimes himself.
Well, it's interesting, as he lines up here, it's so, they have such a similar build, him and Trent Call. Like, obviously, he's going to be a bit beefier being a middle linebacker, right? But what an arm right there as he throws another one across the middle.
Exactly where he wants to go. Is he going to get pushed down to the 1 yard line? That looked like Braxton Young, number 9, with the reception, as Fremont has their best field position that they've had all night. This is the closest to the end zone we've seen them.
Based on the last two plays, it looks like they are going to finally punch it in here. Let's see what they draw up on a 1st and 3 to go before getting their first points of the night. I mean, this could end up being we talked about what if they end up scoring 52-7 again. That was the first score line of the game. I mean, that's a very possible thing right now as we wind up to 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Bodie Goins just going to take that big frame like you said, and he's going to punch that into the end zone. That is a rumble and a half for Bodie Goins, not afraid to initiate contact with this defense, trying to get his boys on the board, and he did to make this thing 43-6.
Yeah, and right there, just making the score a bit closer. And, you know, it's great to hear the roar of the fans over on the Fremont side, parents cheering on their kids in what will likely be a lot of seniors' last game and a lot of players' last game of the season. Good to see them get in the end zone.
Bodie Goins is a senior, 6 foot, 180-pound senior, as Fremont makes their extra point. Going to make this thing 43-7. We will be right back.
For over 25 years, Salt Lake Running Company has helped people of all ages and levels find the gear they need to start their fitness journey. From a free custom shoe fit analysis to a premium assortment of footwear and workout essentials, SLRC is a top 10 run shop in America. Locally owned, locally operated, at 5 locations along the Wasatch Front. SLRC is there to help you gear up and get out. Visit a store near you or shop online at slrc.com.
Welcome back here to Lehigh, Utah, as we have Skyridge up 43-7. Fremont just putting points up on the board off a quarterback draw by Bodie Goins. Not afraid to initiate contact with that D-line at all. He was just trying to score. What a way to put on a show for his boys.
Yeah, Bodie Goins doing his best impression of Trent Call right there, just putting his head forward and getting some yards, and the score right there as they get ready to kick off. And, you know, from Skyridge right here, of course, I think, as we've mentioned, perhaps some of that success came from some secondary players. We might see some secondary players on the offense come out.
And it'll be a touchback on the kickoff.
And there were some extracurricular activities going on after the play. Some players took each other down, but it looks like players from both of their respective teams were able to break it out before anything more happened. You know, I am interested to see what kind of their game plan is. They're going to try to run off the clock, or if they're going to try and kind of just test their playbook. I think sometimes when you're in these playoff scenarios, you want to see what other plays work for you, but at the same time, you don't want to try anything tricky, as it does look like they are going to bring out their backup quarterback right now.
Looks like Trent Call's night is going to be done.
And that's going to be Brock Parrish, the sophomore, who we saw warming up at halftime. We were wondering if we were going to see play earlier on in the second half.
Quarterback Brock Parrish.
Nice to see Parrish get in, considering their other two quarterbacks, McKay Hillstead, who didn't play tonight, originally was the starter, and Trent Call, both seniors. So this season will be the last we see of them. Parrish just getting warmed up here. They're going to hand the ball off, and they're going to take it. He's just seeing green grass as he's going to get run down at about the 30-yard line. What a way to get the gas going. Zayden Salu picking up 30-40 yards on the play, not being stopped.
Yeah, Zayden Salu, a name that we haven't called very much tonight right there, but hey, he just ran it right at the gut right there, and he was just running so fast. At one point, he was running so fast, I think sometimes his feet weren't even keeping track of where they were going. It looked like he started to stumble a little bit before the defenders were able to finally pull him down, but a good job right there to get them into Fremont territory.
Gonna snap the ball again. We're going to have a little bit of a false start here. Going to have to move that ball. Oh, offsides, I apologize. No, false start. On the field, they made the wrong call. They're going to move the ball back 5 yards, but this is nothing new for Skyridge. They're going to start with 15 yards to go, and more than likely, they're going to pick it up.
Hey, well, if this is the trend, playing from 1st and 15, might as well give Brock Parrish some experience at doing it as well.
They're doing a really great job at bringing guys over to chip, and they're setting that edge. They're bringing that tight end in motion, so they're not. This defense isn't prepped for extra guys on the edge, and they're doing a great job at pulling their tackles and their tight ends to set that edge for guys like Zayden Salu, Tate Walker, and Carter Sheffield.
When you have a size and speed advantage, it basically acts like you have an extra guy blocking for you if it's run effectively, and we've seen that so far out here tonight.
Parrish looking downfield on that out route. They're going to pick up about 4 yards on the play.
Yeah, and that was pretty tight coverage by Cale Cypers, who's a linebacker, was playing out in coverage right there. Pretty tight coverage, but so kind of a gutsy throw, but threw a rocket right there into his wide receiver's arms. Set up a 3rd and 11 about.
If you're a Skyridge fan, this is what you want to see, because Parrish is just letting it shine right now. He's letting it rip as he's going to go downfield once again. Going to be incomplete. This O-line is holding up really, really well. You mentioned the size and speed advantage earlier. It's very evident. You talked about, sometimes from up this far, it's hard to see the size advantage, but it is very clear. They're winning the line of scrimmage, and they've been doing it all night.
They have some big boys. I remember seeing the offensive line kind of just doing a little prep during halftime, and they were kind of just a bit closer to us from up here on the press box, and I could see just how big they were kind of in comparison to some of their trainers and some of their other players. This is a unit that's got some great size.
Yeah, he just has all time. These pass rushers aren't getting anything on him. As we look downfield, we're going to get a pass breakup. as Parrish was looking for a touchdown there on 4th and long. They're not going to get it. That Fremont Silverwolves is going to have a little bit of pride going into the end of the game here.
And that one right there, unfortunate for Parrish. I'm sure he just got to be wishing that he put a bit more mustard on that one, because his wide receiver was wide open right there, beat that slot coverage. Just maybe 2 more yards on that, and that would have been money in for 6 and his first touchdown of the game on his first drive of the game.
I will go to my grave with this. The seam route might be the most dangerous route in football, because especially if you got a cover 3 or a cover 2, if they go to cover those outside fades, they don't expect you to run that far up, especially with that seam route, which was what that play was on, and he beat the inside safety on that one. As we see them go to Calvert once again, what is that, like 4 or 5 fades to Calvert now, and we've just now seen it completed by this backup quarterback for Fremont.
And that's how it's supposed to, they've drawn it up well enough, it just hasn't been executed well enough, but it looks like with a quarterback and system like Bodie Goins, who knows how to place the ball accurately and effectively and quickly off the snap, it's been effective.
And it makes sense, Calvert's 6'6", 225, but they just haven't done a good enough job putting him in space to catch the football. As again, these quarterbacks just keep taking these hits. Way to get back up, though. If you get a quarterback, you get popped like that, don't let that pride live with the defense too long. You just get right back up and walk back to the huddle.
Yeah, it must be, that takes a mental toughness, knowing that you're bear hugged by 2 guys from either side, and then all of a sudden you have one guy come and pop you in the helmet as well. I mean, but just the ability to get back out there, knowing that you're down this much and that you're the backup quarterback, just trying to make something happen with your starter out. Good job by Goins being a leader for this team late in the 4th. Tons of green grass in front of him.
Gonna get a little bit of a pop at the end. Let's see, and there's the flag. That's gonna be a late hit. Again, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. That is not gonna cut it further when you go into these playoffs, especially because it was so unnecessary. You have 2 minutes left to go in the game. Why are you laying a lick on the quarterback like that?
It was kind of funny too, because as Bodie was going out of bounds, he dropped his shoulder because he was expecting that last pop from that defender, and then he's pointed at the ref and kind of just waited for him to pull the flag, and it didn't look like the ref was really even thinking about it until Goins appealed for it, and then he got that flag that's going to push them further down the field. And once again, I mean, we've talked about the few times that they've had field position like this. I think it's about the 3rd time this night they've had field position this good.
They're going to get an extra 15 yards tacked on to the end of that. And again, 2nd time now in this game that Fremont's moved into the red zone. A name that we unfortunately haven't called very much tonight is Smith Snowden. It's been a little bit of a quiet avalanche on the defensive side of the ball because Smith's got his receivers snowed in. You know what I'm saying?
How long did it take you to come up with that one?
It probably, honestly, a solid 5 minutes. As we still go for a deep shot, Calvert's going to get that touchdown. Holy cow, he said, my name is Randy Moss. Nice to meet you. There's a flag on the play. Let's see if this is defensive pass interference. And then another flag. Both of these probably going to go on the Skyridge. Looks like there was a little bit of chirp and extracurricular activity. But again, when you're 6'6", 225, you say, look, I own you. And they've been trying to go to him all night. It's unfortunate they haven't been able to get it going till now. Let's see how these flags play out.
I mean, and that's got to be so nice for David Calvert. I mean, he knows what he brings, his physicality brings, right? And so he just wants to be able to, make it worth something for his team, but he hasn't been able to get the ball. The ball's not been distributed to him effectively. I mean, and he's had some great throws to him so far once Bodie Goins has been in there, and that was a great play right there as we get the call. I mean, offensive pass interference, so that's going to nullify that last touchdown. And one thing that would have been interesting, had that touchdown stand, the running clock would have stopped, actually. The mercy rule no longer been in effect. But once the ball is set, we will see the clock continue to roll as we are now under 2 minutes to go in the 4th.
They're going to start back at the 35-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 25. And you imagine they're probably going to go back to Calvert again in this situation where you have a long yardage situation and you're just trying to go end zone.
They're playing about 8 yards off of Calvert now. They learned their lesson.
Yeah.
They even got a safety over the top playing cover 2. Not even being a cover 4 set. They are playing a cover 4 set.
Nice play. Incomplete pass.
Looked like from our angle that one was completed. Hard to see from the far side of the field right there. That was unfortunate. It was a decent pass as Goins stood up in the pocket and delivered that ball.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get anything downfield when you're going cover 4. They're going to go a wheel route and a seam route. Let's see. Look into Calvert, but the ball's going to be incomplete. Just couldn't put it on the numbers.
Goins knows at this point what an asset Calvert is, because as he rolled out of the pocket, he immediately was looking for Calvert, tried to point to him where to go, but just was unable to deliver an accurate pass.
Yeah, good job by Calvert making a comeback on that. Understood that they were playing cover 4. There was deep coverage. You had safety help over top. Coming back to the ball is the best thing to do. It's unfortunate that Bodie Goins didn't get more time in this football game. Looking deep for the end zone, and it is going to be incomplete. This theme of no-fly zone is continuing with the Skyridge secondary. This is not a secondary that anyone in 6A is going to want to play.
No. And I think that something that's been very impressive is that they just stick to like their individual assignments. They're not running around. They're not easily affected by little movements. They stick to their roles. And what that's going to do is that's going to limit a lot of what the opposing offense can do. I am impressed with the offensive line, how they've been able to hold up, but then again, that might be due to the fact that they're rushing a lot less on this drive.
4th and 25, looking deep, going to Calvert. Let's see. Oh, and it's going to be incomplete. They're going to turn the ball over. Skyridge is going to have it at the 35-yard line, and that is likely going to be the last time we see the Fremont offense on the field this season until next year, as we have 50 seconds left to go here at Skyridge.
And right now, thus going forward, I mean, we'll likely just see some victory formation with Brock Parrish in there, unless they really just want to give him some reps and the rest of the team some reps. But at this point in the game, you think they would just take victory formation, get these players nice and warmed up in the locker room as it is. Temperature is dropping out now, but a lot of good things for them to discuss going forward. Depending on who they're going to play next week as we await the outcome of that game.
Coming out in victory formation. They're going to run this thing out. Just got to snap it one time. And their play clock's going to be a little short, so they're going to have to snap it one more time to close this thing out as Skyridge wins 43-7. Quite the wallop put up on these Fremont Silverwolves. Unfortunate, they came in winning the first round playoff game, but when you got to contend with the #1 team in the state, there's not a whole lot that you can do.
No, I mean, it's a tall task ahead of them. Fremont likely knew this coming in. It was a bold choice choosing to, keep Slade Parker in there as long as they did. But I think, like the note I made, like they know this is going to be their quarterback going forward, and so they want to be able to, trust him, give him as much experience as he can at that position. Bodie Goins, of course, a senior, so. He only went in because we saw Slade get injured, but overall a great performance from Skyridge. And something to note really quickly, so Skyridge will be facing off, of course, against either Riverton or Davis, depending on who wins that game. The score of that game, 49-44, Davis on top with 9 minutes to go in the fourth. That game is a shootout.
So we don't know who's going to win that one, who's going to end up playing Skyridge, but if whoever is going to play Skyridge, there's one thing that we have to say about him, and in the words of Kanye West, bigger, faster, stronger, too much power for these Skyridge Falcons. So I'm not excited for whoever has to play these Skyridge Falcons. Skyridge is going to end up winning 43-7 here in Lehigh, Utah at home. We're going to take you to break, and when we come back, we will give you the Heidemann Associates key to the game. Spoiler alert, it will not be me for my pronunciation, my second half performance of La'akea Kalama. We will be right back. Welcome back. Skyridge has put quite the wallop on these Fremont Silverwolves, 43-7. They handled business as they look to see who they will play in the third round of the 6A state playoffs. Before we let you go, we will have to get to our Heidemann Associates key player of the game. Alex, go ahead.
For me, this was kind of a tough one because a note that we made several times throughout the game. It's not like they have one player who just carries the load. You know, they don't have like, you know, just like a Luke Livingston or someone like that who scores like 4 or 5 touchdowns a game, right? But I think a player who just like really just sold himself to me was Tate Walker. He just did a good job, especially down on the goal line, punched in the ball, and as well, he just did a great job in open space, and I think that was really what set the tone for this game. They controlled the clock. That was something that I said Fremont needed to do. Didn't even get close, thanks to the efforts of Tate Walker.
That's the one thing. If you look at this stat sheet, as we were making stat sheets today for the game, every single guy on this team, whether running backs or receivers, has close to like 300 to 400 yards and 3 to 4 touchdowns. They spread the ball incredibly well, and the same goes for the defensive line, the linebackers, and then we talked about ad nauseum. Like, I don't want to overcook the ham 24/7 here, but the secondary is absolutely elite, and whichever receiving core is going to play these guys, whether it's Davis or whoever, it's going to be quite the struggle because these guys are the definition of ball hawks. They love to go up and grab the football. So again, bigger, faster, stronger is the way to describe Skyridge. Thank you so much for spending your night with us here on KSL Sports Rewind as Skyridge wins 43-7. We will see you next week. From Lehigh, Utah, I am Brett Hammer. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. For Alex, for Doug, our cameraman, have a good night.